What's up, Catherine? How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well. Looking forward to hearing from the guest of honor. Congratulations on your book.
Thanks. I'm glad you can make it.
Absolutely. Hey, David.
How you doing, Vance?
Well, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We've been enjoying an original track from Catherine. This is her original music that has been welcoming you in today, and we are so excited that you have joined us for the very special launch celebration for Catherine's new book, No More 24/7. If you happen to have a copy of the book with you, we would love to see you hold it up. We would welcome you today to keep your cameras on if you have them available so that we can see all of the support that is here for Catherine's launch. We would ask you to keep your microphone muted for now as we want to maintain the audio quality of our recording. We will have some chances later on in today's event for you to unmute your microphone and also to speak to Catherine and offer your congratulations or to ask a question. So for those who might not know, Catherine Cowart Rowe is a CPA and a management efficiency expert based in New Orleans, Louisiana, where I believe there's an in-person party happening today too. So all of the celebrations are happening for Catherine. We are going to put her full bio in the chat, but I have personally loved getting to know Catherine, seeing some of her videos with her beautiful daughter, and learning about her running journey, which is something that we both have in common, and being able to see her go from the book in its early stages to a finished book that hopefully you all will be holding in your hands soon. It has been so exciting. So as we get started, one of the things that we want to do is get to know a little bit about why you are here with us today, what motivated you to sign up to come to Catherine's launch celebration. So we have an opening poll for you. Did you join today because you love a good party? Is it because you, like me, are a super fan of Catherine? Is it because you want to learn more about Catherine's new book and the content, or you're proud of her work and want to support her? So if you can take a moment to answer that quick poll, we do have some more folks coming in, and we'll get started with our content in just a few minutes. Catherine, how does it feel? I know you've been waiting for this day for so long.
It's crazy. I still feel like it's brand new. Like, the first time that I felt the book, I was like, there's an actual physical book. And that's why the physical copy means so much. You're looking at, your word manuscripts for so long and going through, and then all of a sudden you have something in your hands. It's pretty incredible.
I totally agree with you. Let's take a look. So here is what we've got today. We've got 2/3 of people who are just so proud of you, Catherine, and wanting to support your journey. We have some folks who are interested in learning more about your new book. We've got at least one super fan and some party people with us today. So thank you for all of you who have chosen to invest your time to be a part of this celebration today. One of the things that we will do after this party is to provide the chat to Catherine. It will be like an enduring guest book from today's event. So if you have any encouragement to offer, or any questions, or just anything that you'd like to say to Catherine, we would encourage you throughout today's event to go ahead and put that in the chat. And later on, she'll have a chance to read back through and see all of the support that you have for her in the chat. So Catherine, as we get started today, I would love to have you have our guests get to know a little bit more about your journey. So I was hoping that you could share with us what prompted you to write the book and begin your author journey.
So the book was one of a few ideas that I had when I just decided I wanted to write a book. I had some downtime after tax season, that kind of holiday time where, nobody needs accounting, but, it's not quite the holidays yet. And that's when I kind of got started. And when I got this idea, it all started to fall in place where I realized that I had come so far on a journey that I didn't even realize, from just starting out new entrepreneur, starting a business. How do I keep track of everything? How do I make sure that I'm not being taken advantage of? How do I make sure that I'm not just completely burning myself out? And over time, I put in place these different practices, and the book kind of just fell in that order, where it will take you from that stressed out burnout stage to an entrepreneur who knows that you can set limits, you can set boundaries, especially with yourself, and take your life back and be in control of, your destiny and how you want to be as a business owner and person contributing in the world. So a lot of it came from my experiences in that. And the best part is it's not over. A lot of these practices are things that we have to continue to try and keep doing constantly, especially me. I'm still, every time I go through it, anytime I go through the whole process again with, other entrepreneurs, I'm going through it again. I'm doing the same thing, taking the same steps, because it's always a work in progress. Our businesses are. Yeah.
Well, I love, Catherine, that you're saying that these are lessons you have to keep learning and relearning and implementing them for yourself, just as you're coaching other entrepreneurs and having boundaries with their businesses. I think you're going to read to us from the book. Is that true? I can't wait.
Yes. On the 16th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Ida made landfall in southern Louisiana. The evacuation experience was surreal. Memories of leaving my home at the age of 15, not knowing that I would not be able to return, all rushed back on the 14-hour bumper-to-bumper drive to Georgia. Traveling with a 6-month-old baby to escape a very possible tragedy was stressful enough. On top of that, I had a business to handle. How would we keep up with projects and serve our clients? At that time, I was the only person working full-time in my firm. Jade was working part-time with me and still in her full-time position elsewhere. My head was spinning. Society tells us that we need to be constantly active and engaged in some task or activity to be productive. If you aren't doing something with every part of your time, then you aren't doing enough. You haven't put enough into your business and you aren't competitive. But what about when a hurricane hits? If your schedule is packed, how will you manage? Are you prepared for the unexpected? There's no set formula for your life or your business because situations change. And change can be both positive and negative. While change can be difficult, it isn't always a bad thing. Change keeps life exciting and challenging. If you live your life thinking that everything needs to follow your plan for you to be successful, then you'll struggle significantly when stuff happens. Besides, do you even want to be summed up in a calculation? I don't.
Thank you, Catherine. That's so powerful. So I'm hoping that you can share with us a little bit about who the ideal audience for your book is. Who did you write the book for? Who are you hoping will pick it up and learn from you?
So for my book, I am writing for entrepreneurs who want to take their life back, but they're struggling with efficiency and time management and may not even realize that they're also dealing with setting and maintaining boundaries. My core message for my book is that successful entrepreneurs aren't available 24/7. Being on call for your business is actually undermining your success. Setting limits and boundaries are key. And by the end of the book, my goal is that every entrepreneur will take your free time back from your business and become more efficient than before.
So, Catherine, can you tell us what this looks like in your own business journey?
I never thought that I would be able to do all the things that I'm doing. I wonder all the time, how do I do it all? How do I, write music and run and, have, a CPA firm. And now I have a book and I'm working on a coaching program along with that now. And the reality is it's been getting these practices to be able to be more efficient in the business to allow additional time elsewhere. That time can be used for, to make more money, to do other projects, to do things like this, or it can be your personal time. If your business was eating away your time with your family, you get that time back. So the freedom is there. It's all about the goal, whatever goals and aspirations everyone has, they're all achievable.
One of the things I noticed when I was flipping through that really stood out to me is your practice of taking space on Fridays. Can you tell us about that?
So originally, before, I was doing all the book and everything, because this does take a lot of effort and time. It was my way of saying that this was going to be, some, time that I'm, just not going to, have meetings. I just didn't want to have meetings then. Now I block off all of Friday because I know that's where the spillover work's going to go. But it helps. Whatever the goal is, as long as the goal is still there. Like if I know and I've committed that my goal isn't that it's going to be completely spaced, that it's really just to not over commit, then it still counts.
Amazing. I loved your list of some of the things that will spill over into your Friday when you leave that space open. I have to say, like, I've been in business a while and I am not good at this. So your book is definitely one that I'm going to keep going back to. I need your lessons too. So Catherine, could you tell us what your deepest hopes and dreams and goals are for this book and what it will do in your life and career and in the world?
So for me, I didn't even realize that this, could be so impactful on people. We have these, concepts that we want to say is simple. Yeah, I shouldn't be working all the time, of course, but why is it so difficult? And that sense of togetherness where, readers and again, I'm actually creating a program for this. It's available now. And we can talk a little bit more about that later to sign up for that. But my idea is that I would like to build a community of entrepreneurs who are working together to build these efficiencies. And I want to see what other people can do. What are you going to do when you gain your time back? Is it going to help you grow and, get more skills, spend more time with family, have new businesses? I'm excited to see what everyone else can do.
I love that idea of creating community and providing support for other entrepreneurs who would like to get their time back. So I want to pause right now and share with the folks who have gathered today a little bit about ways that they can help to support the book and share it with others. So the book is available now as a paperback. You can see that we have it, or as an ebook. And if you've already had a chance to get a look at the book and read the book so far, we would love to have you leave your review on Amazon, because those Amazon reviews are important social proof that will help others to identify that the book is for them. And I don't know if you've noticed, but Amazon is doing something new where it picks up on the common themes that are in the Amazon reviews, and it will capture all of those ideas at the top. So as you write your Amazon review, it doesn't have to be like writing a book yourself. It can be just a few sentences, but if you can include some content about the fact that it's for entrepreneurs, it's helping them get their time back and learn how to set boundaries, all of those will populate on Amazon and help the right readers find Catherine's book. We would also love to have you share the book through your social media channels. And Wendy, my colleague who's here, is putting a link in the chat where you can download some graphics and other social media posts to be able to let people know about Catherine's book. You can send out your words of congratulations, or you can recommend the book to other entrepreneurs who might be in your circles of influence. Even beyond that, if you are someone who has a newsletter or a podcast or any other type of media outlet, I know Catherine would love the opportunity to be able to share this book with as many audiences as she can. So I would encourage you to reach out to her if you have the ability to help get her content and book to a wider audience. Finally, Catherine did mention the course, and there's a coupon code that Wendy, my colleague, put in the chat, so that if you're interested in getting the course, being a part of this community of entrepreneurs who are taking their lives back, there is a special offer there for you. What I didn't see is this call to action to buy the book, or maybe I forgot to say it, but truly the most helpful thing you can do for authors at launch is to buy their books. And so we would encourage you to help build early momentum for Catherine's book by getting a copy today, even if you already have one, so that you might pass it along to someone who could benefit from it. So I know, Catherine, that you have a friend here that you want to introduce next.
Yes. So Anne Baracco has been basically like my soul sister since we met in graduate school doing accounting. And it's interesting because she and I took different paths. We both started in public accounting and we went different routes in industry, but we have since both essentially been doing the same thing. We each have small CPA firms and we do a lot of work together. We're always bouncing ideas off each other. We're, just as tight with business as anything else. And she's my ride or die.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ann Baracco, and I am very, very excited and happy and cheering Catherine on for her book. I'm sure we all are. And we've been waiting, and I know I have been waiting for this day. I think it's like giving birth to another child, right, Catherine? I just wanted to, I contributed in the book, Catherine. It was a pleasure to be interviewed with Catherine to go through my personal story about setting boundaries. I had a client that basically stood me up, and I went to her personal house at 7:30 at night, which is outside of work hours. And I went there to, be accommodating. And I think everybody here tries to be accommodating, especially when they're first starting out with their businesses and trying to grow. And as I was standing at her front door, I got a text message, and she's a hairdresser, and the color didn't take, and she was still working on her client. So I'm sacrificing my time, my family time. And it just showed me that unless you value your time and you set firm boundaries, which Catherine and I and the book goes into, you're not going to gain any respect from them because you're not respecting yourself. So after that, I'm proud to say that she's no longer a client of mine. And with the work with Catherine and going through everything with her book, we've actually set the stage of, do we really want that person as a client, and cherry picking and making sure that it's going to be something that's a relationship. Because at the end of the day, you want to work with your CPA, or you want to work with your doctor, or you want to work with your attorney, or whatever, your plumber, it doesn't matter. You want to work with them, and it has to be a team relationship, and it cannot be a one-sided relationship. So I also think this book goes into that and showing that, it's not just about the business owner, it also has to be the business owner and the client, whatever clientele that is, and how to behave in that manner by you setting the boundaries so they have expectations, so that it ends up working out together. So there's no hard feelings, and there's no, upset feelings and misconstrued, outcomes. And I think that's also a very good, important part of the book. But the main reason I'm here is, I know it's only 12:19 in the morning, but I wanted to give Catherine a toast. So it is sparkling water because I can't, but I don't know if anybody has their coffee or whatever beverage of choice that they have. If everybody could, there's Catherine running off. I didn't think she actually thought I was going to do this. You coming back?
We got to take a toast seriously and get a.
We are taking this toast
mug.
seriously.
Yes.
I am so proud of you. I think that this is wonderful. I congratulate you. I look forward to many, many years of ups and of course downs, because, without having the bad times, we don't know what a good time is. And let me tell you, there's a lot of good times in life. And congratulations on your book launch. Cheers.
Thank you, Anne. This might be a good moment, if you're familiar with Zoom's technology, to take a look in the upper right of your Zoom panel. If you've been looking at speaker mode and you want to change to gallery mode, then you'll have the chance to see all of the support that is gathered here today for Catherine. Many of your faces are showing and some are not. I always like to take a moment during the launch celebration to see that view for a moment. And now is your chance to speak out your questions to Catherine or to offer your congratulations. What we want you to do is, if you could use the hand raise icon that's in the bottom of your Zoom panel, that will let me know that you would like to speak. And I'll call on people one at a time to be able to either offer your words of congratulations to Catherine, or ask a question, or to share a story, anything that you'd like to do on today's call. And while we're waiting to see who might want to speak first, Catherine, I was wondering if you could talk about how this actually got started for you, like as it relates to at what moment in your business did you realize that you needed to have boundaries to set in order to maintain the life that you wanted?
A part of that, and this goes into, is either in chapter 8 or 9, one of the hiring chapters, when I realized that I was being, I don't know if stingy is the right word, but way too conservative and cost adverse, to the point where I wasn't realizing that by just saying I can do it, and holding everything back, like, oh, I can't really afford to hire somebody, that's a lot of expense. I have to be responsible for someone else and their paycheck. I don't want to have to do that. So I just keep doing it. I can just make it happen. And it just, it actually costs more to do that, because there's other things that I should have been doing. And getting that realization after really making the first hire kind of too late, not too late, it's never too late, but not early enough. I realized, there's a lot of other things that I need to maneuver around.
Yeah, amazing. That must have been an important realization for you. And from here on out, you know what to say yes to and you know what to say no to. I'm going to call on Vance to speak next.
All right. Well, hey, I'm gonna give you another toast with a bottle of water. I am in Lexington, Kentucky right now, working with a bunch of water bottling companies. So, cheers to you, and congratulations on your book, Catherine. We've known each other for a while, and have continued to have conversations and gotten to know each other better. And super excited for you. Wish I was there in person for your book signing this afternoon, but here we are today. So awesome. So, all right. So I have a question. Talking about just some of your tips as you were reading through and things of that nature. And one time management tip is respecting your time and having clear boundaries and making those boundaries known to others regarding respect for time, yours and theirs. uh did you come up with, so when I read a lot of books or go to seminars, I read a lot of things, or I hear things that I've either read or heard in the past, whether it's another book or a seminar, which is fine because it reiterates a lot of common staples in whatever the topic is. But I'm curious, did you, because you're a very creative person, did you come up with any unique proprietary, if you will, uh, time saving methods, or something in the book that is unique to you, like you were the one that created this, whether it's just for you but now you're sharing it with other people in the book, or anything that you do that you came up with that you haven't read or heard, or from someone else or something like that. I'm curious if there's something that the artist had created herself.
Yes. So the very first thing that I think of is in the procrastination chapter. There's something that I come up with, the procrastination deterrent process, and I'm trying to see exactly what page that is on, and I'm not finding it right now. But basically,
I found it on page 133, Catherine.
and I think it started a little bit before, maybe it starts there on 133. Okay. Yes, here we go. So the procrastination deterrent process. So I am, a big procrastinator historically. I'm, obviously none of us want to. Nobody wants that stress of waiting until the last minute and then either realizing it was really easy to take care of and why didn't I get this done sooner, or feeling like, oh, what have I done? I should have taken care of this. So my procrastination deterrent process is 4 steps to guide you toward solving procrastination issues. And so the first thing, and obviously this isn't something to do when you've got something coming up right there and you need to be working on it. This is just planning ahead. So you make a list of 3 to 5 tasks that you tend to want to put off. Spend a few minutes on each one and try to determine why you want to put it off. And then want to think of at least one possible solution that you can implement to try and avoid procrastination. Solving the why. Why do I want to put it off? Why do I want to put billing off? Is it because I hate doing billing? That kind of thing. And then test the solution, see if it works. And if it does, then great. And if not, look for a new solution. So trying to find the root of why we want to put stuff off, and then try and work through that and see what can we do to make this better.
Cool. Thank you. I like the insight. Awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Mark, and I'm not quite sure how to say his last name, Mark M, would like to speak next. So Mark, if you want to go ahead and unmute, you're welcome to join us.
Unmuted.
Yeah, you're
Mark M. Mark Monastery. How's it going, everyone? Hello, Catherine.
Hey.
This is exciting. I just wanted to say again, congratulations. I'm very excited and thrilled to celebrate this amazing achievement that you have. Seeing this book reach bestseller status has been sort of a really rewarding journey for us as well, and I hope it's been exciting for you. I think that having your unique perspective of No More 24/7 is really what makes this shine. Having your own personal experiences and the stories you tell in this book, I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and it's reinforcing things. I think it was Becky who earlier said that we learn from not only telling others, but we sort of reinforce our own lessons by being able to teach others. And I think that that's a beautiful part of being an artist and a business person at the same time. And I think that connecting the artistry that you have with your business is one of your fortes. I thought that it was something that you talked about on Date Night Disaster sort of resonates with me towards the beginning of the book. You were talking about how Kevin and Tracy were going out to a dinner and how a client was calling at the same time. And when you're working for yourself, or even if you're not working for yourself, setting those boundaries up are super crucial. I know Caroline and I have had that same experience where actually this morning I had that same experience to get to this meeting, believe it or not, which is you have to set boundaries for yourself. So I think a question I would have for you would be, was it difficult for you when you started doing that, or did you just shut it off immediately and say, no, you can't talk to me right now. It's 5 o'clock. I'm done. Did you set up an automated response saying I'm out of the office? Or did you personally struggle when you first started to set those boundaries? I think would be something I would be very curious about.
So for me, I actually do have a standard from like 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. Type standard response that goes out no matter what. But that still doesn't, that's something that's kind of in the background that I don't ever really think about until, like the way that you just said that. It's tough because I don't think there was any one, point for cutoff. For me, it was more just starting to realize that I'm just putting too much, giving too much. And a part of it is being in a service-based business where you want to serve, you want to go the extra mile. You talk to someone, you really want to help them so bad, but they're telling you that, they want to meet on, 2:30 on Fridays. That's going to be their only time that they're ever going to be available to talk with you. I get, if you're willing once, maybe twice, but that is a consistent thing, I realized that wasn't going to be a good relationship for me or her. And I think as far as service-based business owners go, our thing is that we need to think that by setting these boundaries, we're not just doing something to just take care of ourselves, screw everybody else type deal. This is actually caring for the other person, because maybe there's somebody out there that is willing to meet that need. And I don't want to do them the disservice either of holding them back from getting the service that they want. They were polite enough to make it clear that's what they wanted.
I think
So
that's a beautiful point. I
yeah.
think that you saying that, you're making me think of something a mentor of mine once told me, which was, if you go into Apple and you want to buy a product, while they may be certain amounts of 24-hour customer service, the store is only open during store hours. And this is simply the way that professional business is done. There's contracts, there's agreements, there's personal relationships, and there's work hours. And the clients have a tendency to take someone that either works for themselves or that they feel they've gotten personal with, they usually want to overstep those boundaries. And I think that as a new business owner, I knew I was you want to get the client, you want to have more clients, you wanted your business to do well. And I
Right.
think that forces you to stretch yourself thin. And then realizing that you only have so much. I know you're a runner, so you can only go a certain distance, even at your absolute best. So it's good to get out the game before you show everyone that you can't, you know. Anyway, thank you so much for everything. And I just wanted to tell you congratulations, ask you that question, and say we've definitely had a pleasure working with you through the bestseller process, and congratulations on that as well.
Thanks.
My dog wants to join the celebration, apparently. Thanks, Mark and Caroline. We do have time for some more folks if you have questions or comments that you want to make. And Catherine, I did reference earlier the fact that the music that we played at the beginning was your own music, but that's just one other way that it's just so astounding to me that you fit it all in. So I don't know if you want to say something about the music, and then I'll call on Greg next.
So I actually do have a full album's worth of music. We're working on the final pieces of putting that together. Didn't want to, push out too much all at once. Focus on the book right now, and then, later on, that'll be a whole nother campaign. Kind of work it out. But who's to say that you can't have different elements of your life overlap? And if we need a little bit of music here or there. I know a lot of my music, not music, a lot of my videos have had, background music lately. I've been using some of that there too, and it just kind of fills everything. And it's nice to be able to just kind of have, some complete things there.
Nice. All right, Greg, I'm calling on you next.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and congratulations, Catherine. So exciting. Really important message, too. I'm a fellow author as well. I know how much work goes into it and what a big day it is. I work in personal development and leadership. I just wanted to comment and then ask related to that. I lived in Sweden for 10 years and with my family. And I just noticed that over there, it was a real growth experience. And in terms of the work culture in Sweden and a lot of the Scandinavian countries, I think Denmark too, that there is a very much a different approach towards kind of work and life over there, where if you're still at the office at 5 o'clock, people come up to you and say kind of, hey, what's wrong with you? Are you not able to kind of manage your work properly? Right? Like, why don't you go home and enjoy life and kids, or go to the park, or, go to the museum or whatnot? And so there's this kind of almost opposite pressure to kind of just, now they're very successful. They work hard. They're very innovative. They're very happy people. But, and so that cultural influence is important. And it also takes me to kind of the organizational culture influence. If you're there kind of working all the time or not setting boundaries, and if you're a manager or colleague, you kind of set that expectation or set. So I just wanted to hear if you had any thoughts on the culture or the organizational cultural piece as you've looked at this issue of no more 24/7.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is cultural. And, even here, in New Orleans, we have a totally different culture than just about anywhere in the country, too. Um, Definitely in our country, there is a major push to do what you can, always be available. I know that in Europe, there have historically been a lot of better practices about, when you do work. I know in some countries, the practices, even with like business meetings, if it's a meal, if you're inviting someone out to a business meal, you're not discussing the work then. That is your networking, you're engaging, you're talking about anything but work. And then you have the meeting, the business meeting. And I love that concept. And I try to do that as much as possible. That's one thing that kind of stuck with me. I think a lot of people in France do that. And it makes everything more personal, when you're not stuck working all the time. Because think about it, all the people that you're working with, they're not just work or personal. Everyone's a person. And being able to get to know people and connect with them without that pressure of, sell, or, all that kind of makes things a lot easier and happier.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that, Catherine. That makes a lot of sense. And it just reminds me of one of the things that I picked up on Sweden is called fika, which is Fika. And it's a Swedish word, a tradition for a coffee break. And if you work in Sweden, you take a fika coffee break every day. This is like mandatory. And sometimes you do it in the morning, but in the afternoon, certainly you'll have a coffee or tea and a pastry or something. And people in the office, they get together and they sit, and you don't talk about work. I mean, work may come up informally. It's not like a hard rule, but you just talk about stuff and you just chill for 15, 20, 30 minutes. And it's just a way to kind of ritualize having a break. And it's
Yeah.
not kind of go, go, go. And it's just a real, and what you said about lunch as well. It's just nice to have those healthy practices that'll break up the hard driving routines. So thanks, Catherine.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. I'm going to call on Amal next. Welcome. I think it must be the middle of the night where you are.
Thank you, Becky. Yeah, it's about 11 p.m. here, 11:07 in India. Congratulations, Catherine, for this amazing book. I think this is a book that can really change lives of a lot of entrepreneurs and even the work culture as such, because entrepreneurs are the ones who are going to build up businesses in the longer run, right? So congratulations on that. And my question for you is, you would have seen a lot of people, a lot of challenges, and with respect to work-life balance as such, has been anyone who has been specifically a motivating factor or somebody has been inspiring, like you took a lot of lessons which you could apply in your life or in this book as well? Thank you.
So you're asking if there's any particular person that I look to for inspiration for that?
Yes.
So one person comes to mind immediately, and this was my very first professor in accounting. She was probably younger than I am now at this point. She had worked in public accounting. She decided that she wanted to go to law school, and she was teaching at that point, teaching full time at that school. She had previously taught at community college. You could tell she's making transitions, and she was going to law school at night. And she ended up graduating at the top of her class, doing law school at night and teaching during the day. She had everything together. Really sweet girl, comes from local family, great baker. They have awesome food. And now at this point, she is just powerhouse woman, lawyer. I think she's doing international tax in New York. And she's kind of like, obviously I have a different path than her, but seeing her and watch her do all these things, that kind of had a lot of inspiration for me.
Thank you, Catherine, for answering. Thank you.
That's an amazing role model that you had to follow after. Very cool. So it's so amazing to have so many of you here to support Catherine. We do have time if there's anyone else who still wants to raise their hands and either ask a question or offer congratulations to Catherine. And I just want to ask quickly, I know that you do have this in-person event later, and maybe there are some folks on this call who will be with you in person later. Tell us about the party. What's happening in real life tonight?
So we're having a in-person launch party with the New Orleans Chamber and Fidelity Bank at 5 o'clock at the Garden District Bookshop. And that's, uptown in New Orleans. And we're going to have a blast and do it all again with, some food, little snacks type food and drinks, and really just kind of do it all. We're going to do a ribbon cutting. Yeah, I can't forget about that ribbon cutting. And again, I definitely want to make sure that that everybody remembers that we've got that 10% off code for the program. That code is good through tomorrow. So that's our
Okay.
special for launch. Yes.
Sure. Well, let's take a quick look. So No More 24/7 is available today as an ebook and a paperback book, and we would love to encourage you to purchase it today, even if you already have a copy, to help build early momentum on Amazon. Of course, if you've read the book, we would be so grateful for you to leave your review on Amazon and Goodreads. We'd love to see some social sharing go out about Catherine's book over the next few days, and we have tried to make that easy for you by creating some assets that you can download and share. Those are available in the chat, and as Catherine referenced, we do have this very special 10% off on the No More 24/7 course that's available through tomorrow. So we would encourage you to check that out and find out about other ways to learn from Catherine and her amazing perspectives on how to take your life back as an entrepreneur. So hopefully you've been thinking throughout today's event about an entrepreneur in your life that you could purchase the book for, and we would encourage you to do that. As we come close to the end of our time together, Catherine, I'm wondering if you have any parting words of thanks or wisdom to share with those who have attended.
The big thing is there's a lot in the book. There's a lot to go through and a lot of changes to make to be able to make that mindset shift of working all the time. My main advice is to tell everyone as you're reading and going through this, don't get discouraged. Some things take time and practice, and I'm still working through a lot of these things myself, and we're all going to be in this together. And it's all about the effort and the little wins that really count for everything. Yes.
Hi, Catherine. I met you at the Chamber of Commerce. It's Latanya Coleman, and I just bought your book. Supporting you. Go, girl.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining today. I'm going to stop the recording, but we're going to leave the room open. So if you like Latanya, want to just unmute your mic and speak with Catherine, we're going to leave the room open for you for a few more minutes today. And we thank you so much for being with us.
Hey, Catherine.